Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we shall discuss about group behavior. This is subject of school, community and teacher. Its code is EDU 272 and today there is lecture number 9. The outlines of lectures today, these are group and team, formation of groups, and then 5-stage model of group development. So today these outlines will be the main discussion of today's topic. First of all, what is group? A collection of individuals who have regular contact and frequent interaction, mutual influence, common feeling of camaraderie, and who work together to achieve a common set of goals. So most definition of group highlights the presence of link between members. This goes beyond some surface similarities such as height or eye color. In groups, we expect member to be connected in some meaningful way. In other words, a family is a group because the members are connected not just by blood but also by the social and emotional relationships. In other words, we can say that a group refers to the association of two or more persons interacting among themselves for the achievement of common goal. So when the people talk about groups, they often are describing collectivities with 2 member or 3 member. For example, a work team or study group will often comprise 2 or 3 people. However, groups can be very large collectivities of the people such as crowd or religious congregation or gathering. As might be expected, there are differences in some aspects of behavior between small and larger groupings. In families, for example, the relationships are based on kinship, but in the workplace, they are based on task-related interdependencies. In some groups, members are friends, but in other, the members are linked by common interest or experiences. Nor are the relationships linking members equally strong or enduring. Some relationships, like the link between members of a family or a clique of close friends, are tenacious, for they have developed over time and are based on a long history of mutual influence and exchange. In others, the ties between members may be so fragile that they are easily severed. So each individual member of the group does not need to be linked to every other person in a group. In some cases, such as groups based on ethnicity, race or gender, the connection linking members may be more psychological than interpersonal. But no matter what the nature of the relations, a group exists when some type of bond links the members to one another and to the group itself. So 2 or more individuals, when interacting and interdependent, who have come together to achieve particular objectives, so that is called a group. So 2 or more people constitute a group, like if they have some common purpose or goal, and there exists a relatively stable structure, a hierarchy and established set of roles. So this collection of people see themselves as being part of that group. So conceiving of a group as a dynamic whole should include a definition of group that is based on interdependence of the members. We mean by a group of members of persons who communicate with one another, often over a span of time, and who are few enough so that each person is able to communicate with all the others not at second hands through other people but face to face. So to put it simply, they are unit composed of two or three persons who come into contact for a purpose and who consider the contact meaningful. So we can also define that a group is a collection of individuals who have relations to one another that make them interdependent to some significant degree. So as so defined, the term group refers to a class of social entities having in a common the property of interdependence among their constituent members. So a group exists when two or more people define themselves as member of it and when its existence is recognized by at least one other. So when we talk about the types of groups, so there are various ways of classifying groups. For example, in terms of their purpose, a structure but two sets of categories have retained their usefulness for both practitioners and researchers. They involve the distinctions between primary and secondary groups and planned and emergent groups. So when we talk about primary groups, so these are clusters of people like families or close friendship circles where there is a close face-to-face and intimate interaction. So there is also often a high level of interdependence between members. So primary groups are also the key mean of socialization in society. The main place where attitude, values and orientations are developed and sustained. So when we talk about secondary groups, so these are those in which members are rarely, if ever, all in direct contact. So they are often large and usually formally organized. Trades unions and membership organizations such as the Nation Trust are examples of these. So they are an important place for socialization, but secondary to primary groups. Then, what is meant by team? So, one of the many ways for a business to organize implies in a team. A team is made up of two or more people who work together to achieve a common goal. So, work groups are mainly for members to share information and make decisions so that each member can achieve his or her individual work goals. So, if I ask that, what do you mean by team? So, a team is a group of individuals, and that may be human or non-human, working together to achieve their goal. Teams normally have members with complementary skills and generate synergy through the coordinated effort, which allows each member to maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. So there are some other definitions like a group of people with different skills and different tasks who work together on a common project, service, or goal with a meshing of functions and mutual support. So, common definition of team is that it comprises a group of people. Now, here, before going to the difference between group and teams, I would explain that a combination of solid leadership, communication, and access to good resources contribute to the productive collaboration, but it all comes down to having people who understand each other and work well together. So not every team needs that one superstar player to excel. So you are on a team and you want to do amazing things like gain recognition for your work and be valued as a genius in your field. So don't screw it up. So your relations with fellow teams members are the most vital to accomplishing your tasks, meeting your deadlines and exceeding company goals. So first of all, if we talk about understanding. So in groups, members think that they are grouped together for administrative purpose only. And in teams, what type of understanding is there? The member recognize their independence and understand both personal and team goals and are best accomplished with mutual support. The second term, that is ownership. Ownership in a group. Group members tends to focus on themselves because they are not sufficiently involved in planning the unit objectives. And when we talk about the team, so the member of team feel a sense of ownership for their jobs and units because they are committed to value based common goals that they help to establish. Then creativity and contribution. In a group, members are told what to do rather than being asked what the best approach would be. And in the teams, members contribute to the organization's success by applying their unique talents, knowledge, and creativity to a team objectives. Then the other term, that is trust. So in a group, members distrust the motives of colleagues because they do not understand the role of other members. And in a team, members work in a climate of trust and are encouraged to openly express ideas, opinions, disagreements, and feelings. Questions are welcomed. And a conflict resolutions means that when we have different problems daily life, so in a group, how do they feel? Members find themselves in conflict situations they do not know how to resolve. The leaders may put off intervention until serious damage is done. But in a group, members realize conflict is a normal aspect of human interaction and they view such situations as an opportunity for new ideas and creativity. They work to resolve conflicts quickly and constructively. In a group, work performance typically depends on the work of individuals, while in a team, it depends on both individual contribution and collective efforts of team members. And in a group, it is individual performance and the leader is accountable, while in a team, the entire team is accountable. Group members may share a common goal, but team members share a common commitment to purpose. Now, why do group form? Because the similarity attraction effect what? Security. Because by joining a group, individuals can reduce the feeling of insecurity of standing alone. And by belonging to a group, people feel stronger, have fewer self doubts, and are more resistant to threats. Then, status. Inclusion in a group, theta is viewed as important by others, provides recognition and status for its members. And in self esteem, in addition to conveying status to those outside the group, membership can also give feelings of worth to the group members themselves. Affiliation. In a groups can fulfill social needs when people enjoy the regular interaction with their group members. And power. What cannot be achieved individually often becomes possible through group actions. This is power of. Now, goal achievements. This is also the reason why do we make group. Sometimes it takes more than one person to accomplish a particular task. So there is a need to pool talents, knowledge or power in order to complete a job. Now the question is that how groups are formed. Formation of groups. Remember that whenever we make something, so definitely we have some methodology. So there are two models of group development. So these are 5-stage model and punctuated equilibrium model. Now in this lecture only we shall study about 5-stage model. So what is 5-stage model of group development? In 5-stage group development model, the first thing is that is forming. Before going to the detail, here I explained that Bruce Tuckman presented a model of 5-stage forming: storming, norming and performing in order to develop as a groups. Its first stage is orientation, means forming stage. This is a forming stage. The next stage is that is power struggle, means storming stage. And the third one is that is cooperation and integration, norming stage. Then the other stage is synergy, means performing stage. And the other stage that is closure, means adjoining stage. So a team cannot be expected to perform well right from the time it is formed. Forming a team is just like maintaining a relationship. It takes time, patience, requires support, efforts, and members often go through recognizable stages as they change from being a collection of strangers to a united group with common goals. So Bruce Tuckman presented a model of 5 stages: forming, storming, norming, and performing in order to develop as a group. So first stage, that is forming stage. So what is forming stage? This is the first stage of group development. This is a forming stage. This stage presents a time where the group is just starting to come together and is described with anxiety and uncertainty. So members are discreet with their behavior, which is driven by their desire to be accepted by all members of the group. Conflict, controversy, misunderstanding, and personal opinions are avoided even through members are starting to form impressions to each other and gain an understanding of what the group will do together. So typical consequences of forming stages include achieving an understanding of the group's purpose, determining how the team is going to be organized and who will be responsible for what, discussion of major milestone or phases of the group's goal that includes a rough project schedule, outlining general group rules and that includes when they will meet and discovery of what resources will be available for the group to use. At this stage, group members are learning what to do, how the group is going to operate, and what is expected and what is acceptable. The other stage is power struggle, means storming stage. The second stage of group development is the storming stage. The storming stage is where dispute and competitions are at its greatest because now group members have an understanding of work and a general feel of belongingness towards the group as well as the group members. So this is the stage where the dominating group members emerge, while the less confrontational members stay in their comfort zone. So question around leadership, authority, rules, practices, policies, norms, responsibilities, structure, evaluation, criteria, and reward systems tend to arise during the storming stage. So such questions need to be answered so that the groups can move further onto the next stage. The next stage is norming stage, means cooperation and integration. So in this stage, the group becomes fun and enjoyable. Group interactions are a lot more easier, more cooperative and productive with faith, give and take, open communication, bonding and mutual respect. So if there is a dispute or disruption, so it is a comparatively easy to be resolved and the group gets back on track. So group leaders is very important, but the facilitator can step back at little and let group members take the initiative and move forward together. So the other stage, that is performing stage, means synergy state. Once a group is clear about its needs, so it can move forward to the third stage of group development. So the norming stage means, so this is the time where the group becomes really united. So at this stage, the morale is high as group members actively acknowledge the talents, skills, and experience that each member brings to the group. A sense of belongingness is established and the group remains focused on the group purpose and goal. So members are flexible interdependent and trust each other. So leadership is distributive and members are willing to adopt according to the needs of the group. So the other stage is adjoining. So this stage of the group can be confusing and is usually reached when the task is successfully completed. So at this stage, the project is coming to an end and the team members are moving off in different directions. So this stage looks at the team from the perspective of the well-being of the team instead of perspective of handling a team through the original four stages of team growth. So the final stage means this is a group development after achieving the objectives for which it is created, start and gradually resolve itself. Then punctuated equilibrium model. Just I would ask few questions and introduce that who developed punctuated equilibrium model. This is Stephen J. Gould. The concept of punctuated equilibrium was to some a radical new idea when it was first proposed by Stephen J. Gould and Niles Eldredge in 1972. Now it is widely recognized as a useful model for one kind of evolutionary change. So what implications can be drawn from the punctuated equilibrium model? So punctuated equilibrium predicts that a lot of evolutionary change takes place in a short period of time tied to speciation events. Here's an example of how the model works. Stasis, a population of mollusks is experiences stasis, living, dying and getting fossilized every few 100,000 years. My next question is that why is the theory of punctuated equilibrium important? So punctuated equilibrium is an important but often misinterpreted model of how evolutionary change happens. It suggests that Darwin theory of evolution by natural selection is wrong, mean that the central conclusion of the evolution theory that life is old and organisms share a common ancestor no longer holds. So this was all about lectures today. Thank you very much. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.